Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Krishno Rakshatu no Jagatraya Guruhu Krishnam Namasyamyaham Krishnena Marsatravo Vinihataha Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha Krishna Deva Samuthitam Jagadidam Krishnasya Dasosmyaham Krishne Tisthati Sarvametadakhilam He Krishna Samrakshamam. Jai Srimanarayana. With blessings of Sri Chinnajiva Swamiji, we are continuing chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. We finished sloka 25. We'll start with sloka 26 today. I'll share my screen. Sloka 26. Hope you can see sloka 26.
Yes, sir.
Please chant. Vedaham samatitani
Vedaham samatitani
vartamanani charjuna
vartamanani charjuna
Bhavishyani cha bhutani
bhavishyani cha bhutani
Mam tu vedana kaschana.
mam tu vedana kaschana.
Question together.
Vedaham samatitani
vartamanani charjuna
bhavishyani cha
Bhutani
mam tu vedana kaschana.
So Lord Krishna is continuing. Hey Arjuna, to Arjuna, Aham Veda, I know. Bhutani, all beings. Aham Veda, Bhutani, Samatitani, Vartamanani, Bhavishyani. Cha. Samatitani, who are in the past. Vartamanani, in the present. And Bhavishyani is future. All beings in the past, in the present, and in the future. So he's saying, I know all these beings, all beings that have taken birth in the past, who are existing now, who are living now, and who will be taking birth in future. Okay? Two, but kaschana mam na veda. No one knows me. Hardly anyone knows me. So I know all these beings, right? Not only the ones that are living at this time, but those who are in the past and who will come in the future. I know all these beings, but no one knows me. Hardly anyone knows me really. Okay. So again, we just discussed, right? So it is hard for people to recognize Paramatma because he is in that human form. You know, it's very difficult for us to accept. Because of that, people are not able to know me really. Right? So typically, great souls, great acharyas, in the history, right? We see all the great acharyas in the history. They are not. Some people don't recognize them, and they trouble them so much. Acharyas don't try to take revenge on them, but we have history of great souls being troubled by even those who are believer. I mean, those who think that they have a lot of knowledge. These kings who have power. Other people who think they have knowledge of the shastras and things like that. Even they try to trouble the great atmas, right? Great souls. So it is difficult for people to recognize. And why? Why is that? Lord Krishna says that later. But yeah, so I know all these beings, right? So why Lord Krishna knows all beings?
Because he's creating them, right? He's the one who's creating them. So I'm sure he knows it.
Yes. So he's the creator. He's the creator, he's a supporter, and so basically without Paramatma's energy, nothing functions in this world, not even 1 second. Probably time also won't move, right? Time is also dependent on Paramatma. So it's like we may think, oh, I'm doing everything by myself, but Paramatma is behind whatever we are doing, right? So he knows everything. He knows us. He knows our past. He knows what will be the future. Some vague questions come up here, right? Like, oh, if he knows what's in future, why wouldn't he stop these bad things from happening? Does anyone get those doubts? Right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is? I mean, if it is already written, why should I even try? Is another thing, right? Isn't it? If it is already written that I'm going to, it's going to take 1,000,000 births for me, then why should I try thinking that I'm going to get moksha in this life itself, right? Or in the next few lives? Or if it is written that it is going to be 1,000,000 lives, then without trying, it should be only 1,000,000. So then why should I try? Some of these questions come up, which is kind of not logical. I mean, they appear logical, but we need to understand what is uh, so uh, we are given the independence for our thinking, our what kind of actions we do and how we do those actions. That is it's our choice, right? So he is there to support. Without his support, whether whatever we think, it's not going to happen. But he is there to support behind the thinking process. But that what we want to do and how we want to do is ours, right? We have a choice to do our duties properly as given in the scriptures. We have a choice to surrender to Paramatma. So if we don't surrender to Paramatma, do all those activities as service to God without having expectations and accepting the results as they are and taking them as blessings of Paramatma and live our life, with content. So if that is one choice, the other choice is always run behind materialistic pleasures and think that I am doing this is for my own, self, for my own gain, right? Personal materialistic gains. Everything should belong to me and all that. So that is another choice that we have. So if we are that the choice is ours. If we take the first choice, we are moving on the path towards self-realization, God realization, right? Um, for permanent happiness. On the second, if we take the second path, we are going towards um, miseries, long-term miseries. Okay, short-term gain may be there, materialistic gains may be there, but it will be long-term misery for us. So uh, it is known, right? There is no ambiguity in it. If I am doing my activities as karma yoga, what is guaranteed?
I don't get karmic bondage, right? When I do a karma yoga.
I will not get karmic bondage, and I will not be acquiring. I mean, I will clear the karmic bondage that has not even been assigned to me, right? So I may be carrying, let us say, $1 million of karmic bondage, equivalent, let us say, loan, right? I'm trying to repay $100 loan in this life. That $1 million loan is also will be erased. Okay, so if that is the guarantee that Lord Krishna gave to us. So that is the future that is known to us, and the future that is known to Paramatma, right? So we, whatever action that we take, right? If let us say I'm doing this activity not as karma yoga, I may have I mean, if I have knowledge, maybe I will be able to guess. Okay, I'm getting karmic bondage, right? But if I don't have the knowledge, who is the one who would know my future?
Paramatma.
Paramatma, because I don't know that, right? So Paramatma knows my future births from in that aspect, right? I don't know what kind of birth I'm gonna take. Even if I say, I reduced some karmic bondage, Paramatma is the one who knows what will be assigned to me for the next life, right? So he is the one who knows my future life. But it does not mean that, no matter what I do, this is what I'm gonna get, right? There's a difference there. So if I'm following these principles, I'm going to follow the path that is going to lead me to permanent happiness, right? What kind of birth that I'm going to take is still not clear to me, because I don't know how much is the karmic bondage that I have, right? So it is Paramatma only who knows. But there is a choice for us, and there is a way that we can shorten that journey with Paramatma's blessing. So if we completely surrender to Paramatma, then we will be able to reach the goal again sooner as he wishes, right? So, so those who do not recognize Lord Krishna as the Paramatma, even though Lord Krishna is there right in front of them, imagine Paramatma is right in front, right? I mean, if you just fall on his feet, that's it, would have, their life would have been set, right? But still, a lot of people didn't do that. So, in order to be accessible to all those people, he came down in Krishna Avtara to show his easy accessibility, right? So those who recognized him, they of course got the moksha. Though a lot of people didn't. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. So unfortunately, because not their fault, right? I'm having this human body, so people think that I am like anybody else, right? Got it? Any questions on this? No. We'll move on to the next sloka. Sloka 27. I'll share my screen. Okay.
Yes, sir, I can say.
Please chant. Ichha dvesha samuthena
इच्छा द्वेष समुत्थेन
dvandva mohena bharata
द्वन्द्वमोहेन
मोहेन
भारत
भारत
sarvabhutani sammoham
Sarvabhutani
सर्वभूतानि
sammoham
सम्मोहम्
sarge yanti parantapa.
सर्गे
सर्गे यान्ति
परन्तप
परन्तप
Let's stand together. Ichha dvesha samuthena
समुत्थेन
द्वन्द्वमोहेन
द्वन्द्वमोहेन
भारत
भारत
सर्वभूतानि
मोहम्
सर्गे
सर्गे
यान्ति
यान्ति
परन्तप।
परन्तप।
Lord Krishna is saying, Hey Parantapa, to Arjuna, Hey Bharata, both are names of Arjuna only. He addressed him twice in this particular sloka. So Arjuna, Sarva Bhutani Sammoham Yanti. All beings are attaining delusion. Right? Sammoham, delusion. Sarva Bhutani, all beings, Yanti, attaining. Some of these words repeat many, many, many times. So Yanti is one such word, right? So all beings are attaining delusion when Sarge, at the time of creation, at the time of birth. Ichha Dvesha Samuttena. By what? They're getting delusion by what? By the infatuation of pair of opposites. Ichha Dvesha. Ichha and Dvesha. Ichha is likes and dislikes, right? Ichha and Dvesha. Dvandva Mohena. So again, that is a pair of opposites. So Ichha Dvesha Samuttena Dvandva Mohena. By that infatuation, by that attraction towards a pair of opposites generated by likes and dislikes. Right? So why are we getting delusion? Is because of the likes and dislikes. Okay, so this is little bit we need to go deeper into it, right? So a lot of people have without our knowledge. I mean, some people like cold, some people like hot. Some within the same family, right? Some people like spicy food, some people like sweet, right? Some people love to, I mean, do hard work. Some people don't, become lazy. Some people are stable even when there are problems. Some people get, um, disturbed. I mean, all these pairs of opposites, they're caused by that likes and dislikes that we are carrying from the previous births. Okay, so it is not like we developed some of this in this particular life. We are carrying this samskaras, the impressions from previous births. So we have been taking births again and again, millions of births so far, right? In each of these births, we are affected by the prakriti, the gunas of the prakriti, isn't it? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So we are affected by it. We develop likes and dislikes, and we develop the samskaras, the impression. It creates an impression on us, and those impressions are the ones that get carried with us from one birth to another birth. Okay. So the karmic bondage gets carried forward, and the likes and the samskaras, basically the impressions, get carried forward with us. Okay, so when we as soon as we take birth, because of those likes and dislikes and continuous effect of the prakriti on us, we are affected by the pair of opposites, right? And we get into this delusion, right? So because of the delusion, um, we will attend. Of course, next sloka will come. So basically, here the sloka is all beings are attaining delusion because of this likes and dislikes that the vasanas that are carried from the previous births. Okay. So some have greater vasanas, some have lesser vasanas, right? So depending on the intensity, people will get affected in this particular life, right? The delusion, some people like if let us say someone introduces great acharya, right? I mean, some people readily start following acharya. Okay, other people, they feel like, okay, this is like any other person, and they go on their own duties, whatever they want to do. Okay, so there is some difference there, right? I mean, it's you put the same amount of effort. The situation is same for the two people. One person, two people are introduced to the same acharya. Acharya spends the same amount of time talking to that person, but one person continues to follow in the path of shown by acharya. Other person doesn't, right? Why? Because of the previous vasanas, impressions that we are carrying, right? So we, I mean, we are not only, in other words, so we have our likes and dislikes in this world, right? For example, if I like to uh, enjoy the materialistic things, right? Why would I go towards spiritual and developing in that spiritual aspects, isn't it? So that like towards enjoying the food or like going out and seeing the nature and talking to people, partying, any of these, right? If I have strong liking towards those, I would not come and sit in a Bhagavad Gita class, right? So that liking is driving me, and now that is causing me delusion that that is the reality. That is what is giving me happiness, isn't it? That's a real delusion there. Like, is that real happiness? No, right? Delusion is something that we think it is right, but it is not, right? So we are thinking that partying and enjoying those materialistic objects is the one that gives me happiness. So I need to run after that. I'll be happy when I have them, those possessions. That so my liking towards those caused me delusion about the happiness, and then I ran after it. Even though the real happiness is on this side, where I learn Bhagavad Gita and practice the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Nobody is saying that you don't enjoy the materialistic whatever you have, right? But not following the principles of Bhagavad Gita and only running after materialistic is the problem. If people have enough money to enjoy while they are also practicing the principles of Bhagavad Gita, surrendering to Paramatma and Acharya, it's not a problem at all. We shouldn't be becoming a sannyasi and giving up everything, right? Paramatma gave whatever resources that we have, he gave it for a purpose. So for us to make the best use of it in service of Paramatma. It's not that we should throw away whatever we have, but the thing is, like if I don't have enough money, if I think I don't have enough money, and my enjoyment is getting more money and spending that more money for my own comforts, and not focusing on Paramatma, that is the problem. So that is that liking towards materialistic things is causing me delusion to run up after the um, false false enjoyments, temporary enjoyments that are related to the body. Thinking that those enjoyments which are for the body is actually real enjoyment, and enjoyment towards ourselves, the enjoyment for the Atma, we don't care about it. Okay. So the primary concept here is the vasanas that get carried from the previous births have impact on us in this particular life. So we need to be careful about them. Okay, so we'll move on to the next sloka. Sloka 28. Please chant. Yesham tvantagatam papam
Esha
Yesham
Svantagatam
papam
papam
jananam punyakarmanam
jananam
Jananam
punyakarmanam
Punyakarmanam
te dvandva moha nirmuktaha
te
Te
dvandva
Dvandvamoha
nirmuktaha
Nirmuktaha
bhajante mam dhradavrataha.
Bhajante
bhajante
Mam
mam
Dridhavrataha
Let's chant together. Yesham
Yesham
tvantagatam
Svantagatam
papam
papam
Jananam
jananam
Punyakarmanam
punyakarmanam
Te
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 Dvandvamoha
dvandva
Nirmuktaha
bhajante
bhajante
mam
mam dhradavrataha. Lord Krishna is saying. So in the previous sloka, he said, we carry the vasanas from the previous births. Those have impact on us. They cause delusion, make us run after false enjoyments, temporary enjoyments or enjoyments for the body, not for permanent enjoyment for Atma. So why? We are carrying those. Now, Lord Krishna is saying, two, but yesham punya karmanam jananam papam antagatam. People of virtuous deeds, punya karmanam jananam, people of virtuous deeds, papam antagatam, yesham papam antagatam, whose sin is coming to an end. Right? Papam antagatam, easy to understand. So, but people of virtuous deeds whose sin is coming to an end, dvandva moha nirmuktaha, released from the dvandva moha, delusive pair of opposites. Okay? Te mam bhajante. They worship me. Drodhavrataha, determined in their vows, determined, with steadfast devotion, drodhavrataha, right? So typically people, right, they are affected by the vasanas. They're deluded by the pairs of opposites, the likes and dislikes, right? However, those virtuous people whose sin is coming to an end, they're released from this pair of opposites. They worship me. See, till the time we are affected by those, by the delusion, we would not worship Paramatma. Okay. So when our sin is coming to an end, right? So the amount of affect that those vasanas are on us are reduced, right? The delusion will come down a little bit, right? A lot. It should come down a lot, probably. So then we'll be released from that. That it's like this delusion is holding us. Like I want to go and go to a temple, for example. Something is pulling me. I don't. Don't go, don't go, don't go. I mean, what is that pulling me, right? So do something else. Watch TV or enjoy this. Do something else, and talk to somebody, do gossip or whatever it is. So it is the whatever likes and dislikes that we have towards the materialistic things, right? Those like kind of act like a chain on us, keep us away from going towards Paramatma. Even if somebody says, you have to pray to Paramatma, surrender to Paramatma, we'll take them for a task. So, right? You don't know anything. You're missing these things. You like, you should be like anybody else who is, having a 10-bedroom house and having 3 cars. And why are you not doing this? Why are we not going on vacations? Everything will come at the time, right? So the like if we are affected by the delusion, then it is going to act as an impediment, obstacle for us in praying to Paramatma. But one whose sin comes down over a period of lot of births, right? Okay, then when it comes down, then we start worshipping Paramatma with devotion. Now again, somebody forcing us to do, then we may be doing it, right? Because we have no choice. Not that type of praying to Paramatma or surrendering to Paramatma. Really with devotion. Nobody has to tell us, right? So if somebody is acting like, I don't want to go to temple, I don't want to pray to Paramatma, what will I get? And all these kinds of reasons, I should be doing something else, right? Find all kinds of excuses in not surrendering to Paramatma. I mean, going to temple is one activity. You don't have to go to temple every day, every minute, right? But I'm just giving that as an activity, which shows our devotion to Paramatma. Uh, surrendering to Acharya in order to get the blessings to reach Paramatma. So if we are not doing that, then it's an indication that we have strong vasanas, right? Which are pulling us back. There's no point in trying to teach those people. No amount of punishment will make them do different. With punishment, it is not going to go away. And unfortunately, right? So only with the blessings, it will probably, with Paramatma's blessings and Acharya's blessings will act like the cleaning of the vasanas to the extent that we will be able to follow Paramatma, surrender to Paramatma. But somebody tries to punish, it is not going to work, unfortunately. And we know that they are not going in the right direction, but we will not be able to do anything. It takes time. Time in the same birth or time after many births. So So basically, these likes and dislikes act as a block, right? Impediment, obstacle to reach Paramatma, to surrender to Paramatma, to pray to Him with devotion. Once that block is removed, it becomes easy for us to. Those people will be able to pray to Paramatma with devotion, right? So out of their own, out of their own interest, nobody has to force them. Not like, okay, my interest is there only for 5 minutes. After that, I have to get on to other jobs. It's not like that. It is, I mean, we may be doing other things, but we are still following Paramatma. We're still thinking of Him, doing every activity as His activity in service of Him. We are doing it. Okay.
Prasad Garu, like we know that Atma doesn't need any liberation as such, right? The true.
Atma needs liberation from taking births in this body, in these
So
bodies.
yeah, so that means what we are in Telugu we say, right? Atma Kshobha. So are we are doing that? Are we creating that Shobha to Atma? Even though Atma doesn't have that, it doesn't experience Shobha or anything.
Atma experiences
Okay.
in a way, right? Like when Atma is with Paramatma, it is the most happy thing.
Yeah.
Right? If it is away from Paramatma, taking births in this all these mundane bodies, it is the most you can say Shobha for Atma. It's not like Atma starts crying, and the tears will fall down like that, right? But you're not having that happiness, like again, it's very difficult for us to even imagine. Like we know happiness and sadness from our body perspective only.
Yeah.
Those who are able to recognize their Atma, self-realization, God realization, they are the ones who would be able to experience the kind of pleasure that they would have, which is beyond any pleasure that you can have from bodily comforts, right? So, so that state where I'm able to serve Paramatma, nothing bothers me, right? No amount of, I could be having any type of bodily problem, still if I have that happiness, how is that possible, right? That Atma is experiencing the Paramatma, then it is in that state of happiness, even while in this body. It doesn't have to, Atma doesn't have to go to, leave the body to experience it, like Krishna said. So, we, yeah, in a way, if let us say we are acquiring more and more karmic bondage, we are making it more and more dirty, more and more restrictive, more and more has to go through some pains, right? So it is Atmakshobha in that way. It's not crying, but it is becoming, it's going through difficulties, troubles, because it is not serving Paramatma, which is the real happiness for Atma. As long as we are in this body of limited capabilities, the Atma is not experiencing the true unlimited happiness, right? So any happiness that Atma is getting is through this body only, and this body cannot experience that much happiness. So, for example, if we stand in front of a million volts bulb, we can't take it, right? because our body is limited. It has limited capabilities so we cannot withstand. But imagine if Atma does not have any limitation and is able to enjoy that also.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, just to give an example, I'm giving. So as long as we are in this body, it is getting into trouble.
Okay, sir. And one more thing, I just want to, when we self-validate ourselves, right? Are we there yet? I know I'm not there yet, but one way of my understanding Gita is, first of all, it takes the fear of death, right? I mean, we understand what is death. But if I still feel, whenever I think of death, my death, right? If I'm getting dukkham, meaning I'm still attached, I think, right? I mean, that attachment is still not gone, even though or my understanding may be wrong. I don't know. That's what I felt like when you study Gita. First of all, like, that fear has to go. Like, I'll die, because we understand death. But sometimes if you feel emotional or something, I always get it out that, I'm still like coming back to square one. Like,
Difficult question to answer.
mhm.
I mean, we try to again this we should not wish that anybody would get that,
Yeah.
right? However, it is inevitable. So just because it's inevitable, we say, okay, I'm happy with it. No, it's not like that. So it's very important to say that our body, right? This is the most precious gift that we got.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, the final state is liberation, but you cannot reach that state if you don't have a good body to work with, right? So from that aspect, the longer we live, the more that we can make the best use of this body in order to serve Paramatma. We don't know what kind of bodies we get next, right? So if let us say we are in the path of self-realization, God realization, with Acharya's blessings, Paramatma's blessings, let us say we are on the right path in this particular life. There's no reason for us to ask for a shorter life, right? So as long as Paramatma gives this life to us, we will make the best use of it. Okay. So there should not be any thing that, liberation is my goal, so I don't care about my body. That is absolutely wrong idea, right? It should be the other way. Body is the instrument that is given to us by Paramatma. The body is the temple for Paramatma. Paramatma is also in this body. So we should make the best use of it as Paramatma's blessings. So it is not like this is my body, I can do whatever I want with it. So it is Paramatma's body that is given to me, right? Paramatma's body in the sense, I didn't pay, like before taking birth, I didn't pay $1 million to somebody to get this kind of a body, with all this, 2 hands, 2 legs like that, right? I didn't do anything. So without my paying anything to anybody, I got this. That was Paramatma's blessings, right? So as long as this body is there, I need to make the best use of it. So, but we shouldn't be thinking that it should be continuing for the sake of materialistic enjoyments. That's the only thing. we should have the longest life as possible so that we can serve Paramatma and Acharya using this body. Right. I hope I answered. So yeah, it is not necessary for us to think of anything beyond that. So think like you have a car and you have to go to office every day. You need to make the best use of the car as long as possible, right? So same way, this body is given to us, and we have to make the best use of it as long as it exists. So if eventually when it naturally happens, it will we would have made the best use of it till that time. So it should be fine.
I mean, without our control, right? I mean, dukkam comes say. I mean, that's what I meant. I know I have to make use of. I maintain the body. I know the purpose of life. I am not asking for longevity or cut short the life or anything like that. I'm not. But without my conscious, like if that death comes into my mind and say I feel little, low. I felt the other day I was thinking that, and suddenly I was like different person. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm like I have more. I need more cleanly. I mean, of course, I need it.
It's a difficult topic, so we'll not discuss that further in the interest of, because a lot of people have misunderstand that and then apply it in a different way. So, but I know you understand these principles, so nothing should bother you.
Thank you.
Okay, so there is one more question about this. Why is our attachment to pair of opposite act as a block for us in seeking God? What's wrong with them, right? Likes and dislikes.
Likes and dislikes, they lead us along the wrong path, right? For some reason, what they do is they take you away from that belief and that righteous path that you should be following. Because the path, if you don't have likes and dislikes, the other path is more difficult for an ordinary person. If I have I like car, I like to eat good food and all. But on the other hand, if you take the opposite of that, say, you have an ordinary car, you eat sada khana and all that sort of stuff, that is more difficult. And that's why I guess, when we have likes and dislikes, we tend to deviate from the path that, Bhagavad Gita is trying to say. I don't know. That's my understanding.
Right. Yeah. So basically, whatever we like, we try to retain that, or we try to get it. Right. Right. So if I like something, I already have it, I try to retain it. Or if I don't have it, I will try to get it in future. So we run after the things that we like. Okay. I'm talking about materialistic things, right? So, it could be starting from food to, money and, association with people and, all that. I mean, everything materialistic in nature. So whatever we like, we tend to run towards them. And so we spend all our time and, mind on those aspects that we like. And then whatever we dislike, we don't want to experience them. So we try all whatever possible to make sure that we don't experience them, right? Or we try to come out of them, right? So again, all our energy goes towards trying to deal with the dislikes. So these likes and dislikes are taking our time away. Um, these likes and dislikes are temporary in nature, like really temporary in nature. It's not going to stay forever with us. But unfortunately, we spend all our time on that and less time on focusing, on Paramatma, right? So we try to talk. Let's say, if I like somebody, I try to talk to that person again, for a long, long time instead of focusing on knowing Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and all this, or doing the activities as service to God. I mean, unless we really understand these principles, it is difficult for anybody to do a service to God. So people say, okay, I can do volunteer service, but even that volunteer service, if they do it as for their own enjoyment, personal enjoyment, that is also giving them karmic bondage in a way. So we'll learn from Bhagavad Gita later. So we have to have the proper knowledge first, and then use that knowledge to do any activity. Any activity that is done without not having proper knowledge is going to give us karmic bondage. Good karmic bondage or bad karmic bondage, but it is going to be karmic bondage anyway. So we will, we will not spend time in trying to get the knowledge, trying to be with the satsang, be with Acharya to get that knowledge. We don't try to do that if we are, we have strong likes and dislikes, right? We get occupied with them and have no time for anything else. So that's why they act like strong blocks for us. For anybody who has these vasanas, likes and dislikes, likes and dislikes also include I like to be praised. I don't like to be criticized, right? So for praise, I will do anything. For getting out of criticism, I will do anything. Again, spending 24 hours a day on running after those. Somebody praises or somebody criticizes, how does it really matter? Right? It's not going to matter at the end of the day. But we unfortunately miss that point, and then because we can't tolerate it, right? If somebody criticizes us, we can't tolerate, right? Think that something is lost. Nothing is lost, basically, but still, we kind of feel like some physical pain even somebody criticizes us. So try to do all kinds of things to get out of it, or in reverse, try to hurt that other person in directly or indirectly. So all the time is wasted there. So if we are not focused on those fate of opposites, then the path becomes clear for us to pray to Paramatma, to surrender to Paramatma. Okay. Okay. We'll go to the next one, next sloka. Sloka 29. I'll share my screen. Please stand. Jara Marana Mokshaya
Jara
Marana mokshaya
Mamasritya Yatanti Ye
Tantiye
Te Brahma Tadviduh Krutsnam
Te Brahma Tadvida Kritsnam
Kritsnam
Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam.
Adhyatmam Akhilam
Let's chant together.
Jara
Maranamokshaya
Mamasritataye
Te Brahma Tadvida Kritsnam Adhyatmam Akhilam.
These next two slokas are a little bit difficult. I'm just telling up front. And also, there are a lot of interpretations of these slokas, different interpretations, because a little bit cryptic, right? So we try to understand them in the context of other slokas and also without contradicting the knowledge, that we learned so far, and also the knowledge that we are going to learn in future. So, so Lord Krishna so far said there are four types of people who would surrender to me, right? Out of that, two people are trying to seek wealth, seeking wealth, right? Artha wealth seekers. Jignasu, who is seeker of Atma, right? Atma seeker. And Jnani is the God seeker, seeker of Paramatma, right? So these are the three broad categories of people. So they approach me, right? And Paramatma is saying they approach me to get what they want, right? So how they should know me? If let us say I want to get wealth, right? I'm seeking wealth. How do I approach Paramatma? How do I know Paramatma as? If I'm seeking self-realization, how do I approach Paramatma? And if I'm seeking God realization, how do I approach Paramatma? How do I know him as? Right? I should know, right? If if I want something from somebody, I should know about how to approach that person in order to what he is and how he is, and things like that, right? Isn't it? So how do I approach Paramatma if I want wealth, if I want self-realization and God realization? So in this particular sloka, Lord Krishna is saying, Jara Marana Mokshaya Yatanti. Those who strive for liberation from old age and death. Jara is old age, Marana is death, Moksha is liberation, for liberation. Yatanti, ye yatanti, those who strive. Those who are striving to be liberated from the old age and death. Okay. Mahamasritya, after taking refuge in me. Okay, Asritya is continuation of that taking refuge, right? After taking refuge in me, te viduhu, they know me, they must know me. Okay, Tat Brahma, that Brahma. Krutznam Adhyatmam, whole Adhyatmam. Krutznam is whole. Adhyatmam. This Tat Brahma, Adhyatmam is a kind of keyword we need to explain. Akhilam Karma is complete karma. Akhilam is complete. So those who want liberation, those who are striving to be liberated from old age and death. That means those who are striving to be liberated from not taking birth again. Right? If somebody takes birth, old age and death are inevitable. So if they want to be liberated from old age and death, because those, a very appropriate question that you asked, right? That old age and death is like some kind of a painful thing, right? So I want to avoid that old age and death to get out of that pain. So how that would happen is when we don't take birth again. And there are two ways of not taking birth. Those who are self-realized, who are Kaivalyatis, right? And those who are mokshatis, those who take and who get liberation and seek the presence of Paramatma. They're seeking God, right? So Kaivalyathis and Mokshathis are the ones who do not get birth again. In this particular context, Lord Krishna is talking about that Kaivalyathi, the one who is seeking self-realization. So those who are striving to get self-realization, they must know three things. In this particular sloka, he said three things. That is Tad Brahma, Adhyatmam, and Akhilam Karma. Okay, so Tad Brahma is that Brahma. What is that Brahma? Brahma is the Atma. What about that Atma? He says that Brahma, right? That Atma which is imperishable and superior, right? I mean, why would I even seek self-realization if I don't know about Atma? Very simple question, right? Anybody, if I want to go to Niagara Falls because it looks, beautiful, like it's a great experience for me. Then only I go to Niagara Falls. If Niagara Falls is like 1 feet, right, falls, nobody will go there, right? I mean, so from here all the way drive for 8 hours, go there and strive for it. Why would I strive for going there? Is that experience is great. So here I'm striving to attain self-realization. So I must know about the Atma, that Atma, which has all the characteristics that we learned so far. That is, in short, it is imperishable, right? And it is superior, right? And Adhyatmam, superior compared to, not Paramatma, superior compared to the materialistic nature, right? Superior to Prakriti. Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti, that we learn. So it is, Atma is superior compared to the materialistic, insentient objects. Okay, so that we need to know about that. And then we must know about the Adhyatmam. Atma is self, right? Or Atma, we, right? Adhyatmam is what is attached to this Atma, or in a way associated with this Atma. What is associated with this Atma while we are in this body or any body is the Sukshma Sharira. Okay? So that Sukshma Sharira is called the Adhyatma. Okay? So what is the Sukshma Sharira? So when we are, the Atma is in this body and we are doing all our activities while, with using this body, right? Now we are acquiring karmic bondage, we said. We are acquiring those vasanas we just learned. Where are they stored? When we go from one body to another body, like in the previous 2-3 slokas back, we said, Lord Krishna said, you will have those vasanas cause delusion, right? Because of those vasanas, you are deluded and you will not be able to, you will be, running after those likes and dislikes. You will not surrender to me. So these vasanas must be carried, right? So these vasanas are carried in the Sukshma Sharira. The karmic bondage is carried in the Sukshma Sharira. It's not like outsourced to some cloud somewhere. It is carried along with the Atma from one body to another body. So this Sukshma Sharira comprises of the 5 Tanmatras, Pancha Tanmatras, 5 Jnanendriyas and Manas. There are other, references which say something else also, but our Acharya has given us this. So the five tanmatras are the subtle elements of Panchabhutas, right? Panchabhutas, earth, water, fire, air, and space. So the subtle elements of those, our body is made up of those five elements only. A subtle element of that, it's not the physical element that is carrying, because Atma cannot carry anything physical. Okay, there is it's very difficult to understand. That's why, I mean, our science probably cannot explain that. So there is a subtle element that Atma carries with it that represents these five Panchabhutas. So when it goes from one body to another body, it gets installed. Imagine the software gets installed in another body. So then Jnanendriyas also, the subtle Jnanendriya, which is representing the Jnanendriyas, not the actual eyes, ears, all this. The whatever is that sensory perception software, maybe, right? Think of software, not the hardware, because no material goes from one body to another body. Okay, that software which is activating these Jnanendriyas, you can probably think that way. And then the manas, which controls the Jnanendriyas. These are the 11 things that Sukshma Sharira contains. It goes from one body to another body along with Atma. So it is Adhyatma. So why do we need to know about that? Is that I am, I am carrying this karmic bondage. I am carrying these vasanas. If I need to get self-realization, I need to get rid of this karmic bondage and the vasanas. That means I need to get rid of the, first of all, I should not be acquiring more, right? I shouldn't be acquiring this karmic bondage, for example. So I will start doing things in order to reduce the karmic bondage, just clear the karmic bondage as much as possible. That will lead me to self-realization. So I need to know about the Sukshma Sharira. That is the second one. And Akhilam Karma. So it is fine. I learned about Atma, I learned about Sukshma Sharira. But how am I taking birth? What kind of body I'm going to get? Right? I need to understand that. If I need to have self-realization, I need to understand the process of taking the future births. How I got this birth, what kind of birth I may get. So, and who is going to give me the birth? Okay, it's Paramatma. So we'll learn all these things. So Lord Krishna is saying that if you are interested in self-realization, these three things you must know about yourself. Okay, about the Adhyatma, about the Sukshma Sharira, and about the process of taking birth. Okay, and you must know that I am associated with all these three, isn't it? He is the one who is behind the Atma, is energy behind the Atma, right? He is the one who is making this Atma function in a body. He's the one who is, this entire Sukshma Sharira and carrying the karmic bond, and all that is because of Paramatma only, right? And the act of taking birth, that creation is because of Paramatma. So we need to know that Paramatma is associated with all these three. We need to know him as the one who is associated with Atma, with Sukshma Sharira, and the process of creation. Okay. Unfortunately, it's 9:28. 2 more minutes, so we'll not be able to complete the next sloka. So we'll conclude next week. Any questions? Anyone who is joining new has anything to say? We are on record, so again, really appreciate all of you for taking your time. It's very difficult to sit through for a long session, 1.5 hours in the night. You must have worked very hard throughout the day, and still you made time to come and join this session. Really appreciate, because of all your support. Everyone, myself and all others are also learning. Really appreciate all of you.
Yeah, I just want to introduce myself. I just joined this group. I know Prasad. Prasad Anaya is my brother. He's my cousin. This is Sagar Anna.
Ah,
So just want
Sagar.
to introduce myself. This is my third session. So it's really interesting. Thanks
Ah,
for the knowledge.
thank you so much. Oh, very nice. Thank you so much, Sagar. Really appreciate.
Yeah, it's all your blessings and yes, people are.
Yes, thank you so much. Very nice.
I mean, this is the first time I'm listening to Bhagavad Gita or anything spiritual. So it is very enlightening to me, some of the stuff
Very
which
good.
I
Very
never
good.
thought of or
Are you able to understand? You joined in the middle, unfortunately, but are you able to understand?
yeah, I'm able to understand. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Namaste,
Very
sir.
nice.
Thank you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, Jai Shri Manaran. So basically, this is a unique program, right? So we are not here to just rush or complete, but rather, and most importantly, Varaprasad ji is helping us to correlate Gita with our day-to-day life. So that is, the purpose of this program. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Balaji Garu. Again, with support from all of you, with encouragement from all of you, and your devotion, it's making all of us learn, and hopefully we will reach many hundreds of people. Now, if this is on YouTube, so if you think this is useful, please share with your friends. Now, all of you who are seeing, in YouTube, please share, because there was one comment somebody made in YouTube. I don't know who that person is, but they said, I have that was very very interesting. I tried to learn Bhagavad Gita, and I tried to search for videos and try to hear so many people speak. But the person said, I'm able to get a lot more here in these videos than ever, right? That's kind of, that was very, again, with Acharya's blessings, nothing great about myself. I'm just an instrument. But, Paramatma gave the instruction to us in 18th chapter, right? That we have a duty to pass on this knowledge. It's not like I just learn and I keep it with me. I need, one thing is, first of all, if I try to learn myself, and then I probably understand only 25% or even less. Only when I'm like interacting with all of you and trying to learn more, trying to understand different situations and things like that, then my understanding will increase. So it is helping me, and also helping, pass on the message that Paramatma gave to great acharyas, and through Chinajay Swamiji, we learned, and we're trying to pass on the message to everyone. If there are any mistakes, it is mine, and if everything else, the knowledge is Paramatma's. So
So much. We are very blessed, and so we are spending so much time. In fact, probably most of you don't know this is the second batch. The first batch took us 2.5 years, and we used to do 2 hours, 3 hours every day. So thank you so much for the time.
thank you. Thanks everyone. Again, with Acharya's blessings, we will continue. Okay, we'll conclude with the concluding prayer. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृति स्वभाव करोमि यज्जत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः जय श्रीमन्नारायण
Jai Shri
Jai
thank you
Shri
Jai
Narayana.
Shri Narayana.
thank you so much
Thank you
Jai
so
Shri Narayana.
you.
Thank you.